The Nintendo 3DS versus the PlayStation Vita. Actually, that's a 2DS. Both systems offer exceptionally great gaming experiences, and I couldn't really ask for two better handheld devices. I mean, to be quite honest, these probably are my two favorite portable devices of all time. Now, you may notice that I have a Nintendo 2DS. I'm probably one of the 4 people that do. I'm also probably one of the 5 people that have one of these things around the world, so this video is kind of just pointless at this point. I've actually owned every single version of the 3DS family. I have owned the normal 3DS because I got that given to me as a gift. I have owned a 3DS XL because, I mean, come on, that thing was just absolutely gorgeous. And now I own the 2DS because I like its user-friendly type of design, and I honestly don't mind the fact that it doesn't have a clamshell design. I love the fact that it's slab, it's very comfortable when I'm playing games, and I don't like the bloated screen of the XLs. It's way too big, it is just ugly, the anti-aliasing looks terrible in the game, so yeah, I went back down to the 2DS, and I love it. It's also an incredibly affordable handheld, and that's the one thing that I want to praise about the 3DS. It's always retained its affordability. Nintendo has done a very good job about that, except for the first few months. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Now, in terms of features, the Nintendo 3DS does offer the 2-screen setup, just like the DS does. It offers an audio stereoscopic 3D screen at the top, which, to be quite honest, it's kind of useless. I mean, that is totally subjective. If you want to use a 3D, that is all fine and dandy, but it really doesn't add anything to the games. I mean, let's just be honest here. You can sit and talk about how the slight visual effect it does for Link Between Worlds. You can talk about what it does in 3D Land. It really does not add hardly anything. There's an added layer, obviously, to the visual side of things, but it's kind of just a gimmick. I love Nintendo for being ambitious, but I kind of wish that power was siphoned back just into the system to make it a little more powerful. The system overall has been really sweet. It's built really well. It has a really great operating system that's very user-friendly. It offers fantastic first and third-party software. It has great indie support overall. And then here we come in with the Vita, who more or less does kind of the opposite side of things. While Nintendo's always been a little more reliant on their first-party division, Sony's a lot more relying on the third-party side of things, but they complement each other well. I'm not going to focus too much on the specs of each. Here they are. Yeah, I mean, they're handhelds. I mean, do we really care that much? Now, hardware-wise, the Vita is vastly different. It offers a much wider screen, which a much higher resolution than the 3DS does. I believe the 3DS is like barely standard definition. Again, you know, we're kind of just doing a general fun overview rather than pitting these two systems together like war mongrels.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
It offers a much more comfortable gaming layout, in my opinion. I mean, let's be honest, the twin sticks on the Vita, it's a little bit better than the nipple on the new 3DS. Now, in terms of the touchscreen, I believe the Vita's one is more responsive. It also offers a multi-touch function, which the 3DS really should have had that, but Nintendo didn't feel like doing that, which it really kind of sucks. Both of these have led to some really unique concepts, which otherwise wouldn't have been possible. And to be honest, I mean, while I think the Vita's slightly more comfortable to play on, I mean, the fact that you can really choose with the 3DS line of things is kind of a win in its favor, because having the choice to pick what style of gaming you want to have, that's a big thing for Nintendo, and I'm really happy that they're doing that. I mean, going from playing Super Smash Bros. On the 3DS XL to playing on a 2DS it's a huge change, and it's so much more comfortable to play on the 2DS than it is on that thing. But someone else may think differently, so they get the option to pick to play on the 3DS or the new 3DS or something. Something I love personally about the Vita is the fact that it is a very powerful system, and it's so cool that you can have console ports over there and they look and play really well. That's kind of something I wish Nintendo thought about with their handheld this generation. I wish they went for something a little more powerful to handle more powerful indie games or console games. There are so many more indie games that are better suited for a handheld, and that's where I think the Vita is at one of its strong points. The fact that you can sit and play pretty much every well-received and critically acclaimed indie game is my heaven. If you like RPGs and indies, you're gonna be right at home. But that's nothing to take away from the 3DS. The 3DS boasts an incredible first-party lineup of games, and when you look what the thing has accomplished. It's had 2 fantastic remakes of old Zelda games. It's had Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, Star Fox 64 3D, Super Mario 3D Land, Fire Emblem Awakening, Kid Icarus Uprising, Kingdom Hearts 3D, Dream Drop Distance, Mario & Luigi Paper Jam, Mario & Luigi Dream Team. Something I think both of these systems do really well is highlight their past. I think the PlayStation Vita offers an incredible lineup of PlayStation 1 games and PSP games to play. I mean, let's just focus on the fact that the Vita is capable of having Final Fantasy 1 through 10 on it. And while the 3DS Virtual Console could be better, it still does offer a really good lineup of NES and Game Boy Color games to play. Now, something that is undoubtedly in the 3DS's favor is the fact that it offers backwards compatibility with the DS. I mean, that was huge. That's something I wish the PlayStation Vita kind of took a hold of, but I do prefer the fact that they use cartridges instead of those mini discs on the PSP. God, those things were awful. So unfortunately, you kind of have to dog the Vita for that because, I mean, Nintendo offers value with their handhelds. They just do. I mean, even with their consoles. I mean, I'm so happy Nintendo puts a huge emphasis on backwards compatibility with their systems. Cannot say enough for them for that. Something I praise about the 3DS all the time is using SD cards, and I wish the Vita did that too, and Sony didn't go the way of using proprietary hardware bullcrap. Now, if you're looking for a more exclusive experience and things that offer more unique software, I think you should probably go with the 3DS. Just overall, it doesn't kind of rely on indies and console ports to keep it alive like the Vita does, but the Vita does offer some really sweet software that you definitely should check out. The Vita has sold over 13 million units, while the 3DS has sold over 57 million units total. Now, while some people think this is like objectively fact which one is better because the 3DS has sold more, it's really not. You know, it kind of all comes down to what you as an individual likes to play, and that's fine. Rather than just sit here and bicker and fight over which system is better, let's just take a moment and relish in the fact that we live in a day and age where an Uncharted game is possible in a handheld. I mean, that's awesome. The 3DS and the Vita complement each other really well. If you have the chance, definitely get both of these systems. They're well worth it. You're going to get thousands of hours of game time out of both of these. While the Vita offers things like RPGs and indies and action titles really well, and it has console ports, the 3DS offers things like strictly handheld games. It has strategy games, it has adventure games, it has racing games and party games. That's what you just pick which one you love. Like, you should get both. They're both amazing. It's okay, babies. We're not gonna fight. I love you, and I love you. It's okay. Daddy will play you later. Oh my god! How did I forget to talk about how the 3DS has Monster Hunter and I can transfer save data via cross-save on the Vita to the PS3? What shit?